The dog goes woof. The cow
goes woof.
the cow goes woof too.
Yes.
The cow goes woof.
I need to figure out how much space I actually have on my computer.
To record this?
Yeah. I have 6 gigs.
We also need to figure out what
6
we're talking
gigs.
about. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, what are we?
Are we going to
What
follow
are-
the same format as usual?
Which is what? I haven't listened to this podcast for about 5 months now, so...
He's only listened to the one he's been on.
I mean,
We
we
can
haven't
talk
done a podcast in like 5 months.
We can talk about like literally the most horrible trade I got offered in my other league today.
No, let's keep it
Don't
to
think
this
anyone
league.
in this league cares.
But you guys should care. I got offered DJ Moore
He's gonna
and
tell the
Adrian
story, yeah.
Peterson for Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah, that's trash.
Adrian Peterson in his prime, right?
No, this year's Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I know that.
So
I was
do we
like,
want to talk about the name of this podcast? Because it can't be America's Kick-Ass Podcast anymore.
This should just be called like the Losers.
Well, maybe next
Like
year
the
I'll be in
loser
the
circle?
so.
The Losers Cast.
The Losers Corner.
The Losers Corner.
Or the Player Haters Ball.
Yeah. No, it should be called. It should just be called the Losers Corner.
The Losers Corner.
Yeah.
Okay. I like how you put us in a corner, not like the Losers Circle.
Why
There's a
don't we
lot of
just sit in a
options there.
circle? I like being in a corner.
Okay.
It's whatever you want it to be.
So, do we want to talk about last week's things?
We can talk about whatever everybody wants to talk about, and I'll just be like,
let's see what happens. Let me open up fantasy here.
Yes.
let's talk about our
What
fantasy
happened?
hockey league or basketball. Let's talk about let's throw something completely random at them. Let's just troll them.
Basketball.
Yeah, fantasy basketball.
Yeah, we should
It's
just
a great
troll.
time. There's one
So
person
everything
I don't know
was
that
so-
dominates.
Exciting with you beating Mike, Matin losing, and then Jordan just had to win.
Me beating Mike is super shitty for me.
It is because, well, it could have been good for you because you still had playoff hopes, and now Jordan won, and your playoff hopes are ruined.
I mean, most people's playoff hopes are ruined. Chris's are done.
Yep.
Okay, I never considered Chris.
Chris's are done. Everybody's are. It's literally now a
The
5
only
horse
reason why Arash and Matin still had a chance is because they could have finished 6-6 and won their division to make the playoffs, not because 6-6 is a winning record to get in the playoffs.
To be fair,
And that's why Chris-
most years a
Yes.
7-6 team makes the playoffs.
Mhm.
We can't even go 7-6 anymore because we cut the league short to 12 weeks.
Well, that's why 6-6 with being in the playoffs isn't that big of a deal. This
That's
year,
why
actually, we're way
That's the
better
league
than
to-
usual. What?
Mhm. There's a lot
I
of parity in our
definitely
league
think
this
it's
year.
A lot
What?
of parody or a lot of anti-parody?
A lot of anti-parity. Sorry.
Exactly the opposite of what I said.
we're
Yeah.
not. There's no parody at all.
Yeah.
It's like 3 teams in your or the other division that has a shot, and then
Yeah.
like 2 kind of whatever teams in my division. Like, what's his name? Matin Falzopor started tanking at week 3.
Yeah. We need to do
He had
something
a
about
good
this.
shots. I don't know why he did.
We need to do something about this schedule. It's bad.
Well, yeah.
What do you mean?
I thought
needs
we
to be
were gonna address
longer.
that.
Huh?
It needs to be longer.
Yeah, it needs to be longer. It definitely needs to be longer.
I mean,
'Cause-
we were gonna address that in the offseason, 13 or 14 weeks.
For sure. Well, I mean, I brought it up this offseason, but it was literally a week before the draft. That's why we didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think next year it should be 14 weeks and then 1 week playoffs, like for each playoff.
Yes, that's what I've been saying. I'm okay with the whole bye week thing too, but I don't know what they were saying about the whole. It allows playoff teams to get ping pong balls.
Yeah, that was weird. All right, so do we want to actually start this, or what do we want to do?
All right, so let's talk about the Jordan trade,
Which
Jordan
one?
trade?
the Le'Veon Bell one.
No.
I have nothing to say. I think
Where's
the Jordan trade
Andrew?
was
Where
pretty
would
good. Yeah, Andrew's gonna get heated if that comes up.
I mean, I guess we should call our playoff races and maybe our champions, and then go from there.
All right, who do we pledge allegiance to?
I pledge
So you
allegiance.
said you have no choice, meaning you're going with Mike because you're his bitch.
No, I'm going with Jordan. He's my boss.
Ooh.
I can't do anything else.
What type of work do you do?
What do you mean?
Does he like? Is this like slave labor? Like he controls you, or
Yeah,
What does do you two do?
me and Jordan both work for the Better Business Bureau.
they sit in an office and talk about sports?
Sometimes I go into his office and talk about sports. Sometimes I don't.
And the other times he's not, he's just reading up on fantasy and picking up players. or in the group chat.
Yeah, I don't actually do anything at my job.
All right.
I mean, Jordan doesn't listen to that. Listen to this, so that thing doesn't matter.
The one time he listened.
Whatever you want here.
What?
Hey Jordan, I did a whole bunch of crack at your job. And then he's fine.
But do we all think Andrew's gonna win?
No.
Oh, who do you guys think is gonna win? Will?
I'm afraid it might be Will, but like I think the perfect scenario is for him to make it to the finals and lose again. Like that's just textbook.
You mean storybook, not textbook.
Sure.
Textbook
That's-
is like.
I only read textbooks, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
It would be more like Cinderella than your biology book.
yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I said this probably the first time I was on here. I think Jordan has a good shot of winning it, an outside shot of winning it.
I don't think it's outside shot anymore. I think his team has gotten a lot better in the last
Yeah.
few weeks.
Yeah, it has. It really has.
Wait, have we started recording, or is this just us talking?
No, we're recording.
Oh,
Jesus
okay, hello.
Christ. You could have warned us.
Oh yeah. So should I do the introduction here?
Sure.
Hello. 8 minutes into the thing.
Welcome back to another episode of the Losers Corner.
What did you guys think we were talking about?
I don't know. I thought we were just shooting the shit.
No, I'm recording while people were shooting the shit. Always. Yeah, I guess I should have introduced. But yeah.
All right.
That's
So
the way
on
this
air we
podcast
have
goes.
Taylor, the loser, at 1-9. Competing against him is me,
Big
also at 1-9. And Ara, who had playoff hopes for about 1 week.
At 4 and 6.
Okay. All right. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Playoff. Who do we think is
Andrew's
gonna win?
team.
No, who do we think is gonna win? Not just Andrew's team. In
Okay.
particular.
Right. Okay. Right now, Will has the best team. His quarterbacks are just putting up 20, 30 points a game, no problem. Throws in Trubisky. This guy all of a sudden is Hall of Fame. He could pick up whoever he wants. Tannehill if he wants. 40 points a game, no problem. And
What? You may want to scrap this recording and then we can try this again. Like, this is really bad.
I zoned out for a second, and I just hear Tannehill 40 points.
yeah, just everything seems to be working for this guy. So, yeah, I don't think. Well, but that's what I'm saying. It'll be funny if he loses in the finals again. Mike's team. I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, it's not like he's putting up bad numbers. He put up almost 120 last week and still lost. So I don't think he should be concerned. Todd Gurley's just gonna kind of carry him. Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, just anyone on that Kansas City offense.
Well, I just think that's why I said that Jordan trade was kind of bad for Mike in a way. was because like he doesn't really have a lot of depth on his team at the moment. Mike.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. His Achilles right now is actually his running backs. Like, Jordan Howard is not reliable.
And I don't think LaShawn McCoy is really reliable either.
No, he's not. He just had one good game against the Jets where they actually blew out the Jets that game. He's on a bye now, and then he has a tough Jacksonville. And then it's playoffs. Again, to be fair, it's against Miami, New York, Detroit, and New England. Those are soft defenses.
But even then, are you starting? I think Keenan Allen's not that great. Like Keenan Allen's
his other options are Keenan Allen's not that great. His other options at running back are Chris Thompson, not reliable. So that is just this one little weak area.
That's a big
and his quarterbacks. His quarterbacks aren't the greatest. I mean, well, it's a big weak area, but when you have Todd Gurley averaging 25 points for you there, it kind of balances it out. It's like having two decent running backs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good enough to win. Will it be good enough against like a team like Will's that like all his players put up 30, 40 points a week? Ryan Tannehill? I don't know.
I think Will's team looking at everything and like examining it and like seeing what's there, you're gonna have to catch a week where Will's team falls asleep.
I don't think that's possible. Like Devontae Adams going to break the touchdown record. Julio Jones is finally catching touchdowns.
Yeah.
I hope I'm jinxing Will's team.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's between Will and Jordan, to be honest with you.
You don't think?
To be honest with you, I don't know who Will's going to end up keeping this year.
Julio, Melvin Gordon, and Kamara.
Again, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Adams, he's letting go, even though he had a better season than Julio, younger than Julio.
Yes.
I don't think
Calvin
he puts Julio in the
future.
draft. I think he wants to have Julio until he retires.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would imagine.
The dilemmas of Will. And then Mark Ingram, isn't he potentially going to a new team next year?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah,
The dilemmas.
Mark Ingram's trash.
Yeah, I hate Mark Ingram. Fuck Mark Ingram.
Yeah, those Bama running backs are always like, eh.
I don't like him at all, but then as soon as I talk shit about him, he puts up 20 points, so I can't say anything.
True.
That's interesting. Devontae Adams going in the draft then.
Again?
Some people who desperately traded for keepers, aka me, I could have gone after Adams.
Yeah, but I assume there's probably going to be like some rookie running back everyone tries to chase.
Oh, there will be. There always will be.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens every year. I think this year probably, as I started to look at it more and more, there's less and less rookie running backs I like.
Yeah, there might not be like a Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott like there usually is.
Yeah. There's not a.
I think it's just like patience with those guys, though. Like, I think, for example, Kerryon Johnson could be a top guy. I just have to wait on him, and it's annoying having to wait. But at least it's a year that's shot for me, so I'll take the waiting.
I don't know. I'm not a huge like. The thing is that I said this when you made the trade originally, and I'll say it again: is Sony Michel and Kerryon Johnson are both very talented running backs, but they lack good situations to be used in. So
Yeah.
It's not like they're not untalented running backs, which is fine. Like, but they're not like a Geis or a like. I would say Geis is probably similarly talented to them, but has more upside based on the situation, like going into next year.
That's possible.
Like,
We
and
only have a very
plus-
limited sample of
plus-
guys.
and
so
plus
it's
on
just
all of
based on
that-
assessment.
yeah, and plus on all of that, teams don't have. And we've talked about this before. They don't have tape on Geis. Like nobody knows what Geis is capable of, right? He's capable of being Darius Geis at this point. Like he's not capable of. They don't know. Like now they'll have a year of tape on what the Pats are doing with Sony Michel, and they'll have a year of tape on what like the Lions are doing with Kerryon Johnson, right? So like, I don't think their upside is necessarily as high as some other running backs that are there, and that's what I think. That's what I think whoever the running back is this year is going to be the victim of as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get it. Jordan changed his name to White Power because of James White. I thought he just really liked white people.
And now he's white chubby because he got chub.
Yes. Oh my. That's what made me connect
Did
the
you get
dots.
that too, or you just thought he was into?
No. That's okay. Yeah. I guess he could have been into white chubbies, but I connected the dots because of like this, and I was like, oh, Nick Chubb, I get it. And then I thought White Power, and yeah.
It's a bit misleading. You can't tell from the start.
Yeah. And he put like I don't know. I was confused. So what were we talking about?
All right. Since we're on the subject, let's talk about the white chubbies.
The White Chubbies. What a great name.
All right. So clearly the underdog out of the all potential playoff teams.
Is he the
Now-
underdog though? I
Well,
think his
just
team could
based
beat
on the
Mike.
player rankings, look at who he's got. Like starting Mike Davis, James White is on and off, especially if Michelle is back. Odell is
No. Even with Michelle there, James White is like scary, like good fantasy numbers.
he is, but that's okay.
James
like,
White's
look
the
back,
best running back right now.
even look back though, week 8 against Buffalo, that was just him. Like, sure, he had the good receptions, but if it wasn't that for that touchdown, like he's getting like 10, 12 points,
But
but
he's
it's
getting touchdowns. Like that's the thing. Like he's like it doesn't matter how they get the points; they're getting touchdowns. Like you should know this out of anybody. Like you watch the Patriots one time, and like it's like they come out in like the red zone in like what looks to be 5 wide receiver sets. James White either motions to the backfield or motions in that set.
But
And
my
they
point
throw
is,
than
my
anyone
point
else.
is if Gronk and Michelle are both back, then White might not be guaranteed all those touchdowns.
Yeah, but like obviously that's just a more mouths to feed like theory.
Exactly. So I don't think you can always bank on touchdowns carrying a player.
But there's
No.
been a lot of weeks where Gronk and Michelle have been playing, and White has still gotten his.
It's true. James White is he catches touchdowns. Like that's all he does.
All
And,
right.
like,
And then what do you feel? How do you feel about his flex?
I think
well,
Mike Davis or whatever Seattle running back you want to say, that's his flex position, and Nick Chubb is the starter. And having Mike Davis or Chris Carson or whoever as a flex is like that seems okay.
And
It's
since
not
he owns-
terrible.
I don't like any Seattle running back.
but
I
since
have
he owns
no idea
both of them-
who.
since he owns both of them, and they both seem to one of them like they either seem to flip on and off as the starter.
Yeah, but that's unreliable to me. And then even like Penny had his breakout game last week. Like, but you never know what Pete Carroll's going to do in that offense. Like that's what the annoying part about having Seattle players.
And then he has Odell Beckham Jr., who's very good at football.
I don't know. In my opinion, I'm not saying his team is bad. Clearly, there's a reason why he's 7-3, but he just has, to me, the least exciting team compared to the other three.
Imagine how much the pallets of power would have flipped if Le'Veon Bell had came back.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
I think he has things working for him in the right positions. Like Matt Ryan right now is the number 2 quarterback. Like that's clearly helping him out. Who would have imagined? And then he has Drew Brees at number 4 too.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
And his Jaguars defense, I think it's good to have a solid defense. Although Jaguars defense has been doing pretty poorly. I don't know. I just think he's just been he has the right people in the right places, which doesn't always work for everyone.
Nope. But that's how I got so far last year.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why,
people-
like on paper, his team, you'll never be like, oh yeah, that's an exciting team. Like he doesn't have flashy players, but he has players that will get the job done. That's
Also,
what
he
I meant
doesn't-
with James White too. And I asked you, would you keep James White? You're like, no, but he's kind of filling in that Deion Lewis role last year. He's getting 10, 12, 14 points.
But he also, Jordan, he doesn't score a lot of points. I feel like Jordan scores
That's
kind of
he's
similar
just getting
to
the right
the way
matchups.
Yeah. Give me Jordan's matchups, and I think I have basically the same record.
I would have actually beaten Jordan last week.
Yep. It shows in the points for, points against area. Points for Jordan 1080 to 1031.
Who's 1031?
That's his points for, points against.
Oh, points for, points against, right.
Yeah. And like if you look at somebody like Rash, what you're saying, who has one of the highest points for in the league, actually, you do have the highest points for in the league.
Me?
Yeah. Points against, sorry.
Points against, yeah.
Points against, yeah.
Yeah, I've
So-
just had bad matchups.
hmm
But that's
all it
ridiculous.
takes.
Same
right, is
same
that-
thing with Mitzinti.
Mhm.
Like he has one of the least points for, yet he's 6-4.
He's the only one with a positive record, who like a winning record, who has a negative point differential.
Yeah.
And
Tim basically has had like one good week this year, and it was when he played me.
Mhm.
That's
And I
that's the same for me too. I had that one good week against Andrew. If I actually didn't have that week against Andrew, like he'd be 9-1 right now.
And you would be 0-10.
Yeah.
you would be worse than I am.
What bothers me right now is I'm competing Mike right now for the first overall pick.
Yep.
hmm
And Taylor's silent.
hmm I agreed.
That is a thing that is happening.
That is the thing that's happening. When is it not happening? When does Mike not have my pick?
But I.
All right,
so,
let's take
so
a look
what
at
about,
it.
What about Andrew's team? Because like, Andrew's team looks good. Andrew's team looks better to me than anyone's team, especially if Le'Veon Bell, since Le'Veon Bell's not coming back.
Yeah, James Conner, solid. McCaffrey's solid. I'm kind of kicking myself for giving him up. I don't know what the hell I was doing. That's what I mean about being patient on a rookie like running back. So like last year I had both McCaffrey and Mixon, and I just got too impatient. Cam Newton's pretty decent, and then Mike Thomas gets touchdowns. Juju's filling in nicely for his receivers. Although Allen Robinson had a good game too.
Mike Thomas is second in the league in yards, I think. So I mean, he does everything.
Yeah, Mike Thomas is good.
OJ Howard, whatever, it's a tight end, but like he's doing pretty well. It seems like anyone in the Tampa like passing attack is just getting points. Like those
Who's their
just seem like
quarterback?
high yardage games. And then Aaron Jones, if he continues having games like that, he's like he didn't. It's not like he had more opportunities. He just broke out for bigger runs.
Mhm.
I think he's still averaging like most yards per carry in the league, yet he's still limited to 12, like 14 carries, which
Yeah.
is the most bizarre thing ever. And I don't know why they still use Jamal Williams.
Mike McCarthy needs to be fired.
Mike McCarthy's getting fired at the end of this
It's
year.
the most frustrating
Oh, really?
thing.
I wholeheartedly believe Mike McCarthy will be fired at the end of this year.
Yeah.
If
They
they don't
fired-
make the playoffs,
They
or
fired Ted
eliminated
Thompson,
or-
who was like their GM forever last year, and they're gonna fire Mike McCarthy now. Mike McCarthy's job isn't safe.
Yeah, especially like given their record, they should be a lot better than they are. Like,
Mhm.
there's no reason why Aaron Rodgers should be hovering around 500.
No,
Mhm.
it's true. Yeah, like if granted, like the thing that saved him last year was the fact that like Aaron Rodgers wasn't healthy, and like obviously I don't know the health of Aaron Rodgers' need this year. Like I'm not a orthopedic surgeon by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, really?
You're not?
Yeah, I know, right? But what I would say is that his like he was saved by that last year, I think, and this year I think he's going to lose his job.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think there's a couple head coaches that I think are going to lose their job this year. I think Dan Quinn in Atlanta is probably another one too who may lose his job.
I don't think so. Just because, like, half of Atlanta's defense is hurt, and I think
Right.
that could be used as an excuse to save Dan Quinn.
I definitely think Steve Starkin's going to lose his job.
Sarkisian?
Sarkisian, yeah, he can. His name looks weird, and
I don't know. Like, Atlanta's offense has been really good this year.
true.
I would have said to fire Sark after last season, but it
Mhm.
seems like every Atlanta offensive coordinator like needs 2 years before they're good. It's like Matt Ryan is only good in the second year of an OC.
Maybe.
Because the same
That's
thing
true.
happened with Kyle Shanahan, where he
Yeah,
was
that's
bad
true.
the first year and then he was MVP the second.
I don't know.
So
Maybe
what's
I'm
your
wrong.
opinions on James Conner since we're still on Andrew's team? Do you think it's him or do you think it's that offensive line? Or both?
Or
So
the system.
I think it's the system.
Yeah.
I
Do you
think
think
it's
you can plug in anyone
I
there
think-
and they'll pull off like 20, 30 points?
I think it's the system. Yeah, it's the system.
Yeah.
It's a system mixed with the offensive line. I think having Antonio Brown there, I think James Conner is going to have a huge slump next year, like a huge slump. Like, he's
If
going to be like
He stays
Larry-
on the same team?
what?
Same scenario, but you think he's going to have a slump? Like if he's the
Teams are gonna
starter?
have film on him, right? That's the whole thing. Is that teams don't have any film on James Conner? They have 10 games of film on him. That's not a lot.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a case like pretty much any Cowboys running back where they have, like, for example, DeMarco Murray. Like he was amazing on the Cowboys, and then he got traded, and then he could never live up to that same hype. And
But
that's another
He'll-
case where it's the
James
system.
Conner will be the running back in Pittsburgh this year, like next year.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to have as big of a fall. Maybe he will. He's obviously not going to probably be a top 5. I don't know. Maybe he could be, but I don't think he's going to have that big of a drop off if it's the same system.
I think he's like prime candidate to be a bust, like prime +1 candidate to be a bust.
Yeah.
100. I don't know. I
I
just
don't really think James Conner. I don't see that out of James Conner, but I don't know. I more of agree with Sam. I think that it just continues as long as that team is together.
right.
Maybe if he went to a different team, like I could see your point. If he went to like Tampa, I don't know what he's gonna do in Tampa. But as long
There's
as
just
he's
too
in
many
Pittsburgh-
weapons. Same thing with Kareem Hunt. Like he's not having the same year necessarily that he had last year, but he's run out the third running back, and everyone thought he's going to bust.
No, I thought he was going to bust, and I thought I had oogie boogie feelings about Kareem Hunt. Was the words that I used.
Yeah, and he's run out the third best running back.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be something similar for James Conner. I don't think he's going to drop off if it's the same system and there's just too many people to worry about it on that offense, especially
Mhm.
for a running back. It's really beneficial.
But like Andrew's team, when you look at his team, like it has depth, and that's why I just love his team. Like Kenyon Drake, Marlon Mack, AJ Green, these are guys just that are sitting. Julian Edelman, they're just sitting on his bench. There's 4
Mhm.
solid people that would be starting on my team. Just
So who's Andrew gonna keep next year?
Mike Thomas, James Conner, Christian McCaffrey, if he's not an idiot.
Right. Meaning Smith-Schuster is going to be
Schuster, Aaron
which
Jones.
isn't a big surprise. Aaron Jones and
He
AJ
kind of
Green.
traded away. The way I look at it is he kind of traded away a first-round pick to win this year with AJ Green, right?
But he got that first round pick back with me, and you just gave up Carry-On and Michelle, which I don't even think he would have kept anyway. So I don't think he.
Oh, you gave
lost.
him a first-round pick in that trade. Oh, wow.
I gave him Chris's first.
Wow.
Yep.
Chris's first
Wow.
might turn out to be good too,
Yeah.
because Chris might be the 3rd worst team in the league.
Mhm.
And he might win the losers bracket because he has a decent team.
Yeah.
But again, the trouble with the Twins is it always comes down to team management.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew seems like very hyper focused this year. Like I think he spends
Yeah.
all of his time listening to fantasy football podcasts.
Mhm.
That's just
I think that's what ruined me this year. This is the first year I've actually intensely listened to podcasts.
Yeah, because you guys listen to the
In
fantasy
shit.
footballers, and those guys are fucking morons. We're gonna start a beef with a bigger podcast. This is how we're gonna get famous off this podcast. Is we're gonna start calling out other.
Podcasts have ruined me, and the Sexy Boys group chat has ruined me.
No, fuck that. I think that's amazing.
Just to clarify, Sexy Boys group chat is me, Will, and Tofu.
That group chat's amazing. Fuck
The
you.
original Sexy Boys, but now Will's being replaced because he's no longer sexy.
yes.
And now we have the loser.
The loser court. No, seriously, I think that Andrew's team is going to be good next year. I think our league is going to be very good next year. I think it's going to be hard to win.
I think my team's gonna suck next year. I have no keepers.
I remember there was like a time, aka maybe even last year, but like there was a good 2-3 year period where like the league was very balanced. Like the best team was like 8-4, and the worst team was like 4-8.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of like 6-6 teams, and it's like point differential that got you. And this is the first year where there's like crapshoot teams and like dominant teams in a while.
Yep.
That's true. I think this summer going into this off season will be a off season filled with trades because there are teams who have a lot of surpluses and teams that don't have a lot of surpluses and keepers.
Yeah, but depending on my draft position, I'm willing to not ruin my draft for
That's
one
fair.
of those people. Like
That's fair. And I'm like the wrong person to be talking to about drafting players because I'm not good at it. I never have been.
Yeah.
The other day I was like looking at my like who I've drafted in the past, and it's been like atrocious. Like I have an atrociously bad draft record.
I think Toby
Like
Gerhardt's the
Moncrief
last
and
first
Snead?
round pick.
Sorry?
Was Toby Gerhardt your last first round pick?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh god.
Like it's bad. Like you think my trades are bad? Me like
Everyone knew he was a bust, and I don't know why you picked him.
like if you look at like any sort of drafts, like I'm so bad at it.
Like if this was Madden 2010 or whatever we played, like the pentagon on that guy would have been minuscule, and you somehow still went after him.
Yeah, but there was the time that I was very high on Bishop Sankey,
Mhm.
and I don't know
Mm.
who Bishop Sankey is.
I remember that time.
Yeah. Like I drafted Rob Kelly at 50 was like my last like second round pick.
Rob
I
Kelly
was
was good.
also
wasn't
high on Ellington. And I
Uh,
think you actually had Ellington, RF.
I drafted Arian Foster and Amir Abdullah one year.
There's
Say who's Ellington?
Arian Foster.
Did you say who's Ellington?
Yeah, who's Ellington? The
By the
Arizona
way,
guy?
I did sorry to recant that. The best first round pick I ever did have was Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah,
And
true.
what happened to that?
Yeah.
I drafted Melvin Gordon one year.
Yeah, who'd you trade Melvin Gordon for?
I don't know. It came back and forth to me on my team a couple times.
You should have Gurley too.
Yeah, I've had Gurley. If they've been good in my in the
You somehow had Bell, Gurley, and Gordon, and somehow don't have any of them or anyone of equivalent value. How is that possible?
Have you guys ever read like The Man with like the Red Paperclip or whatever?
No.
It's this,
What
like,
are you
it's
talking
this book. It's this book
Is this
about
why your trades are so bad?
it's this book about this guy who trades a red paperclip and he keeps on trading up until he buys a house, and it's like a real story.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're doing? You have a whole bunch of paper clips on your team, and you want to.
Yeah,
No, he has a whole bunch
I'm
of
just, like,
houses.
trading- What?
He has a whole bunch of houses that he's trading for paper clips.
Well,
That's
then
what's going on.
I'll eventually trade back into houses and then back into paperclips.
Yes, it's just a constant cycle.
Yeah.
What's the moral of your story, Taylor?
The moral of my story is that I like making trades.
There was a show. You remember the show?
Have you guys read the book, The Boy Who Cried Wolf? Yeah, we have. What's your point? That was a good story.
You remember this? You know the show Storage Wars?
Yeah.
There's another show on that channel called Barter Kings or something where they do that exact same thing, where they start off with something stupid and then they trade it into something like very large, and that's like the whole concept of the show.
Okay. So it's like keep trading up.
Yeah, it's king of bartering.
Okay.
That would be me.
Well, Taylor is no king.
I just make a lot of trades.
Yeah.
He does the opposite. He trades down.
No, but in the show, there's like always someone that's willing to trade like an ATV or something for a frying pan, or like some stupid trade, and that's just the way it is.
And what's your point?
You're the guy with the ATV, and there's people out there with frying pans that you want.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the whole point. Anyway, let's look at next week's matchups.
Wait, in case you didn't get it, the ATV is your first round pick, and the frying pan is Rob Gronkowski.
I could draw you a picture too if you want.
Ooh, please do.
So next week's matchups kind of suck.
Well, I'm gonna take down Andrew. I'm gonna shit talk Andrew and get in his head. I'm gonna ruin Andrew. I'm gonna rent space in Andrew's head.
My last two matchups, I love them both because it can like just screw around with people's playoff chances, and that's just all I have going for me right now. Like, it's just
That's why
I don't really care at this point.
We're ruining
Going
playoff
off.
chances.
Dalvin Cook's going off.
All right, let's stay focused. Let's pick the matchup we're gonna like go through.
I think we only need to talk about really. There's only a couple matches that matter, and it's you versus Matinto
all
and Jordan versus
Matin Fazalpour?
yeah, because like those are the matchups that have like a lot of fantasy like playoff implications.
I think Mike versus Sam has playoff implications too.
Does it?
Yeah,
I think all games technically do. Because
Except for
if
Andrew.
Tofu somehow pulls an upset, which won't happen, then Andrew falls. If Chris beats Will falls. If I beat Mike falls, and he can potentially be eliminated from the playoffs. He's actually on the bubble. Like Matin T can easily actually catch up to Mike. He's only one game behind him, so he's
We
not
only have 2 teams left.
Yeah, so if Mike loses this week and Matin beats Arash,
Mm-hmm.
they're both at 7-4. Now, obviously, Mike has a tiebreaker because Matin doesn't have a lot of points for against him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike has a tough matchup in the last game against Will.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matin T just has to beat Chris, which is doable. So I don't know.
it's possible. That's what we're trying to say. Let's go through the matchups. Let's start off with me versus Matin Tohidi.
Well, it's a winner go home. I think for Matinto 80, pretty much.
First question is Arash trying anymore?
No.
Because
I'm
there's
probably
no incentive for you to really like. Obviously, you're not gonna bench your players, but there's no incentive for you to win this game.
right. Yeah, I mean
And if in fact you actually want a worse record to have a higher chance, and then you want to start winning in the consolation.
Yep, that's basically
wanna-
the plan. I think my team
wanna-
is good enough to win the consolation, and I'm going for that. But for now, just taking a couple weeks vacation.
The
So
Giants
that one,
party vote.
I think Matin is just gonna win that. Although I don't know, Matin's team has a tendency of folding on itself. So
Matin,
I don't know, it's
Matin's
not
team has
guaranteed that
been like
Matin will.
literally the most average team all year.
yeah, like he's guaranteed to get the 90 points, which isn't enough anymore because now it's like to win games. It's not the same 90, 100 points that guarantees you a win. You need like at least like 110, 120 now.
Yeah,
I've always said it's been 110.
It hasn't in the past. I don't know what's going on. Whether there's too much of an imbalance in the league this year. That's why there's 1-9 teams and like 8-2 teams. And that's why those teams are putting up like 140, 150, or it's just a more scoring season.
I
But
think there's an imbalance because I think what ends up happening, and I think this is partly blamed with the 12-game season, is teams realize they're either in it very quickly or they're out of it very quickly, right?
Yep.
Like there's nobody on the list of teams that are making the playoffs that started off the season with a losing record.
This is my argument for why it's not just an imbalance, though. There's weeks that literally almost everyone puts up 100 points, and like the team that puts up 90 loses. That hasn't been the case in the past, so that's not necessarily a matter of imbalance.
Yeah, there was 1 week when I was going through that spreadsheet that I made, where 9 teams finished with 100+ points, and only Sam finished with less. And like that's for sure never happened, where all of us got 100 points before.
I feel excluded.
So what you're saying is that the league is just
And like
higher
for
scoring.
some reason, it feels like defenses are scoring less too. Like I just feel like it's been a very offensive season.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's the direction they're moving in the NFL, right?
Yeah, and
Like,
I could see a lot of
I
the
could
new
see
rules.
fantasy football in maybe 5 years being like you need a good quarterback and 2 good wide receivers to win.
It has to do with a lot of the new rules too.
Mhm.
Like so many things were getting flagged on like defensive players, especially against like sacking the quarterback, roughing the passer. I remember watching a game. I don't remember what game it was, but literally the guy pretty much had the quarterback wrapped up and then just let him go, and then the quarterback scrambled into the end zone.
It was the New England Casey game.
Was it? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, and like it's been a weird year for football, like just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, with Andrew winning, Andrew being good, this is clearly there's something up.
Mm-hmm.
He should come crash back down to earth next year. I'm just using this podcast to now talk shit about Andrew.
Good idea. Rent real
Now
estate in his
that's
head.
not here.
What?
Rent some real estate in his head.
Yeah, I want Andrew's sole focus next year just to be on beating me. I don't care what he does. I just want his sole focus to be on beating me.
So, do we all have Matin Tahiti beating me?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Next matchup. What's the next one? Jordan versus Matin F.
Jordan.
I think this one is a little interesting just because of bye weeks.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jordan's always going to pick up the defense, or he might just start the Jaguars.
He
but I
needs
don't know
running
against
backs too.
Pittsburgh.
He needs running backs real bad.
No,
James
yeah.
White's not playing. That's his best
And
guy.
And
so
Nick
is
Chubb isn't playing either, so he has
Nick
to
Chubb's
start someone
also
like
on a bye.
Wendell Smallwood
Yeah.
Or Le'Veon Bell.
or Le'Veon Bell, who might finish with as many points as Wendell Smallwood.
You know what's funny is that I think for the last 4 weeks since I traded for him, Jordan Reed has outscored Rob Gronkowski.
All right. Gronk has only played one of those
Call
weeks.
this the upset game.
You're calling
I'm
this
calling
the
this the upset game. I think Matin's going to win.
I think so too.
Okay.
I think if Matin actually didn't start tanking earlier, I don't know. Well, like he wasn't really tanking, but maybe it's because Fournette was out too. But if he held on to AJ Green maybe a bit longer, I think he would have had a shot at the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah.
That too, probably. I haven't looked at his schedule, but there's probably some weeks, like between weeks like 4 and like 7, where he could have won if he had those players.
Yeah,
we'll
for sure.
let him justify his decision after the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, he also has had unluck of having 140, 130 put against him.
He did
back to
get
back.
very unlucky at the beginning too.
Like that's
So like
insane.
I think he's a team that could easily be like 6-4 or 7-3, whereas we got like the other Matin at 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
Was winning games like 90-91.
Yeah. So
All right.
we're both calling the upset there, Matin F, and then you're
What do you
picking
have?
Jordan?
I'll pick Jordan. Yeah, I'll be the controversial one and take Jordan.
Well, I think he is the favorite.
Yeah.
It'll be controversial, but we'll see. But I guess maybe not because of the bye weeks. Yeah, it's tough.
So next is Will versus Chris.
Will
Will.
he's gonna probably put up like 160, 170 points.
Yeah, probably.
On paper, Chris looks good, but like, you know, the thing is that it's on paper. He actually has
Kamara's
no-
guaranteed like 20. Actually, Philadelphia defense though.
No. Have you watched them play football?
But Philadelphia's run defense isn't. I mean, not that Kamara does both, so I guess run defense isn't something I should look at.
No. Phil, if we get Tammy Jerrigan back this fucking week, maybe we have a shot. But we
FSU
just
alum?
lost. Yeah, we just lost Ronald Darby for the year. He's done for the
FSU
year.
alum?
FSU, our whole defense, FSU alum, Nigel Bradham, FSU alum.
There we go.
I don't
His
know
other
where
matchups are pretty soft though.
Not
Like
really, like Ben Roethlisberger against Jacksonville, like at Jacksonville.
That's the
I-
trap game for Ben. The Big Ben shits the bed when he plays Jacksonville.
I don't know, but Jacksonville's been horrible, and they're pretty much out of the playoffs.
He has Zach Ertz, who may be the best tight end in
Yeah.
football.
Does have Trubisky too against the Vikings, and the Vikings haven't been that amazing this year either.
But he does have Zach Ertz, the best tight end in football.
Yeah, and he has both Ertz and Jeffrey playing Saints, so that's a soft defense.
But don't forget, he did pick up Robert Woods from me. Playing KC, who has an even softer defense.
I don't know if Robert Woods plays except for maybe above Alshon.
Yeah.
That's what he said he got him for.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But even then, like he has Ingram, he has Dion Lewis. Like I don't know if he'll ever start Woods. We'll see how it goes now that Cup's out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't think you can confidently say I'm going to start this guy. I think it's just more of a depth if he hits an injury or something.
My boy Cooper Cup.
So we're all picking Will.
Well, yeah.
At this point, I might be keeping Cooper Cup.
No, Cooper Cup's a baller.
That's a decent keeper. Although I don't know why you easily can say you're keeping him and you didn't want to keep Devontae Adams, but
Well, my team was different last year. My team was good.
you also kept Alex Collins over Devontae Adams.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Ooh. Alex Collins not good at football.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought he had potential.
Mhm.
Next
Just
matchup,
Everyone loves him.
Andrew versus Tofu.
This is where I start owning real estate in his head. I'm gonna beat him this week, and he's just gonna be like, "What the fuck do I do?"
All right, you need to come a little harder than that.
That would be a pretty good upset, but I don't think it's going to happen
Oh,
at
it's
all.
going to happen. I'm gonna own real estate in his head. This is my
I'm
play.
quite confident that you're finishing 1-11.
No, I'm gonna win my last
Why
week
did you get
against.
Russell Wilson back.
I picked him up off waivers.
Did you?
Yeah,
Nice job.
And here we go, full circle.
I told you the red paper clip. Give me my ATV back.
Yeah, except you picked up the ATV from a dump yard.
Eventually, I'll get my ATV back.
And then you don't have Robert Woods anymore.
Nope. But I
Who
do
are we
have.
starting there.
I do have FSU alum Dalvin Cook.
Okay, but who are you going to start instead of Woods?
I fucking don't know. I'm gonna pick somebody off the trash heap who I have down below.
D.D.
Michael
Westbrook?
Crabtree.
Doesn't even start Deshaun Jackson, who he traded for.
Maybe I'll start Deshaun Jackson. Who
I
knows?
would. No, he's a decent receiver.
Let's get wild with it. Let's get Deshaun Jackson.
All right,
back.
so this is an easy prediction. Andrew's winning.
Yeah, this is Andrew for sure.
Fuck.
There's
Unless
no way you
Dalvin
can get real estate in
Cook
his
like
head.
breaks out and does what he's never done before.
What? Be really good at fantasy football?
Yeah.
He was really good at
Never
fantasy football before he got hurt last year.
And how was he this year?
He scored 11 points last game. So there you go.
All right, who do we have in Sam versus Mike?
Mike.
I don't even have a kicker.
Yeah, but you have to pick. You're gonna pick a kicker up. And
I don't know who to drop.
Your kicker!
You're 1-9. How do you not have a player you can drop? Who do you drop?
I think anyone I drop will easily get picked up. That's the problem. Like
I don't-
my team is a bunch of like
Your kicker.
starter
You drop
flex
your
players.
fucking
My team
kicker.
is just a flex player.
You
I don't
drop.
want to drop Gostkowski. Someone's gonna pick him up.
Goskowski's not that good.
He's the third best kicker.
That's not that good.
He almost won me the game against Tofu. He put up 22 points against KC.
He did. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, but all right, he does have. He's pretty good.
Drop Kirk Cousins. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone picks up Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is trash.
Yeah, I could drop Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is
Although
the
I'm
most
pretty sure Chris will pick him up.
Kirk Cousins is the most overrated player in the NFL.
I don't think so. I think he's good.
I don't think he's good. I don't think he's $84 million good.
Probably not.
I think he's good.
I
Is
also
Diggs playing or is
like
he still out?
Diggs?
Stephanie?
Yeah.
What team is he on now? Is he on Jordan's team?
No, he's on Chris's team. He's questionable.
Because I'm pretty sure he's been playing without Diggs. Well, they had a bye last week, but the week before that, he
Also-
was without Diggs.
Also, Chris got really fucked over by that Carlos Hyde trade.
Yeah.
Like, really fucked over.
Like that trade was like a pretty good looking trade when it happened, at least to me. But then like Carlos Hyde,
What
Getting
kind of
traded.
black hole did Carlos Hyde go into?
The Jacksonville one.
He's on that team?
Yeah, they traded for him. So,
Oh.
like, they traded for him, what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, maybe?
yeah, I think 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When Nick Chubb became
And that's
the
when
starter.
Hyde was doing decent. Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Is that
like,
the trade he gave up Beckham too?
Yeah.
I think that's the trade that saved Jordan. I don't think we'd be still talking about Jordan's team being that good if he didn't have Beckham. instead of Diggs.
Yeah,
Especially Beckham is having like his best games now. He's right now ranked the 7th best receiver. His crappy games were when I had him.
he always starts slow though. I don't know what it is. He's like the Le'Veon Bell of running backs. He always starts slow and then he picks up steam near the end of the year.
Well, that's why I think this was Chris's second time with Odell Beckham, and
Mhm.
both times he had him, sees his bad weeks, panics, and then trades him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a real.
I just got fed up with Beckham because I had him last year. He played like 2 games, got hurt all year. This year, like bunch of mediocre games. Not because his skill's not good, but he's just on a crappy team. It's a crappy situation. I don't think it's going to get any better when Eli Manning retires.
Do you think
Nope.
Eli Manning retires after this year?
Yes.
I think he needs to. I don't know if he will.
Yes, I think the Giants have a very serious conversation about his retirement after this year. They're in
Well,
a
I
pl-
don't know. It was just a frustrating
They're in a
situation. I didn't
spot.
want
They're in a spot to draft a quarterback. They'll either probably be like, "Listen, you can sit the year and like teach him, or you can retire. You get
Yeah.
to pick." Like, I think that's the conversation they have with him. They go in and they're like, "We're drafting a quarterback. You can either sit on the bench and like help this quarterback develop and be a team player, or you can retire."
Yeah.
All right, I'm definitely dropping Kirk Cousins.
Okay. And then the last matchup of the week is
That
Wait.
was the last matchup.
We all
Yeah.
agreed that I'm losing, right?
Yeah. you're
Yes.
losing.
Mhm.
I don't think
No one has faith.
there's any real upsets this week except for that Jordan one.
Mhm.
Him beating Jordan.
Then me beating
Don't
Andrew.
let us down,
And-
man.
Yes, and you beating Andrew.
That was the last game, right? No more? Yeah.
No more.
That was it.
All right, so let's pick our playoff favorites. Okay, so let's all make predictions on who's going to make the playoffs because there's some tight ones. We can have some upsets going. So, because it's going to get interesting if Jordan loses and he's now at 7-4.
Mhm.
Let's say Mike miraculously loses to me 7-4, and then Mitten beats Arash 7-4. Now it's very interesting.
Okay. So that comes down to the last game of the season, and keep in mind, Jordan has me the last game of the season.
Okay, so I think he's going to win that. So let's say worst case scenario for Jordan, he's looking at 8-4.
Right. Who does
And then-
he have at the end of the season?
Mitten T has Chris. That's a tough one for him.
Yeah.
But again, Chris has no incentive to win. Like Mitten T has opportunistic matchups. Like both Chris and Arash have no incentive to win right now.
Yeah. And then Mike has Will, right?
So Mitten could even win that one. He'll finish 8-4.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike has Will. Will can lose and actually miss the playoffs. Or
Will can-
sorry, Mike can lose and actually miss the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mike is the most under pressure. So Mike can't have any upset this week. I don't think he will. I think he's going to beat me.
Mm-hmm.
But if somehow I beat Mike this week, I may cost him this playoff chances.
I mean,
Mhm.
Mike just needs to win one of his next 2 to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously his easier matchup is against me, not Will.
Right. So he needs to win this week.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
like with Jordan, him and Mitten, MT, are
Mhm.
going to be tied after this week, according to like what I think is going to happen. And like their point differential isn't too far off, like a
Mhm.
66 point differential. That's not that much. That's overcomeable in 2 weeks.
It is.
Mhm.
It really is. And especially, I mean, not necessarily, but like with Jordan playing me, that's kind of a lock for at least a win.
But also another interesting factor too is Will mentioned that he might prefer to finish second in the group just so he quote unquote has an easier matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So he might not be trying so hard in his last game against Mike.
Yeah, now you're positioning yourself for
So
playoffs.
that Andrew can finish first.
Right.
Although because we're playing with that home field advantage, like that could kind of come back and cost him too, because like both games he could potentially be playing down 2 points just to begin.
No, I mean, it's not that bad. You should see the other.
It's not
league
that
I'm in.
bad, but I don't
Does
know.
your
Yeah.
league
Anyway,
have
so
a larger win thing?
So the other league that I'm in, this is all. So right now I'm 8-2 in this league. First of all, This is how easy other leagues are when you go after you play in our league. You're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Look at all these players I have. You're like, holy fuck!
So-
Julio Jones is available.
So what's
it's a-
the
It's
win thing?
it's a 16 playoff. First two teams get a bye. Home field advantage is a 1 week 5-point home field advantage.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's
That's
fucking ridiculous.
That's like half a player.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like a shitty kicker. You get a shitty kicker every week. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's pretty
I'm like,
significant.
And it's 1 week playoffs, you said?
It's 1 week playoff too. So like that 5 points is huge.
And week 16?
Let me see. 1 second.
And week 13 season ends, and then 14, 15, 16.
What is
Gotta be if you have
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Yeah. I
well,
would assume so.
let me find my schedule. I think I have 2 games left. Is that 3 games left? I'm not sure. I have.
That's the only way that makes sense. If you're
I
playing
have-
16 playoffs and 1 week playoffs,
Yeah, it goes to 6 week
Yeah,
16.
it's gonna.
Yeah, it goes to week 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's a 5.
That's one suggestion for our league. That's how I think. Not obviously the home field bullshit.
The home field fucking 5 points is fucking massive.
Yeah, but
People-
16 playoff, you would want that?
I'm okay with the idea. I just want at least a minimum of 13 weeks regular season.
Yeah, I'd rather have 14 teams but keep it at 14 playoff.
14 games, you mean?
Why did we even
Yeah.
switch this? What's the vote that caused us to switch?
Because we didn't want to play week 17 anymore. So we
Oh,
just
okay.
moved it back,
Yeah.
everything back 1 week.
Yeah, we got rid of week 17, and we want to keep the same 2 week playoffs. that's why we lost 1 week with the regular season.
okay. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I think 13 weeks is the most ideal. Although I'm okay with 14, just so we only have 4 teams in the playoffs. But 13 is the most ideal because you get to play everyone in your division twice and then everyone in the other division once. It just works out perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways. All right, so back to who our predictions are for playoffs.
So I'll say that the 4 teams that make it in are Andrew, Will, Mike, and Jordan.
Okay, so status quo.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll keep it as a status quo. Arash
Yep. I'm going with Andrew, Will, Michael, Jordan.
and Sam.
I think Sam also
Sam's-
thinks Andrew, Will,
Sam's-
Michael, Jordan.
Sam's writing something down. Sam died.
Sam.
I'm thinking.
I'm thinking.
How can you think though? There's a perfectly
I'm
structured
thinking-
sentence. Andrew, Will, Michael, Jordan.
It is a perfect. I'm gonna just make it interesting. I'm gonna say Mike doesn't make the playoffs. I'm gonna just for fun. I'm gonna say Will, Andrew, Jordan,
Empty.
and Mitten.
So if it
Mitten
stays,
T.
if it stays the current status quo with 1 through 4 being Andrew at 1, Jordan at 2, Will at 3, Mike at 4, who's your final matchup then? Like, who's your finals?
All right. So it would be
Are you asking
Andrew
me?
1,
Both
Andrew
of you.
1, and then Jordan at 2.
Right.
Uh,
Jordan plays Will, and then Andrew
Is
plays
Andrew at
Mike.
1 right now?
Yeah. Andrew's leading in points for. It's close,
And he's also
but
yeah.
Very close.
Mhm.
I don't know if Andrew's gonna finish 1 though. It really depends on matchup. It's gonna be close.
Well, then he'll drop to 3, right?
All right,
So-
let's say Andrew's 1.
Okay.
Just for the sake of simplicity, let's say Andrew's
I don't
1.
think it matters. Either way, my finals matchup is Will versus Andrew.
Will versus Andrew.
Yeah, regardless of.
That's true. They
like,
can't play each other in
what
the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Sam-
I think Andrew
Will.
beats either Mike or Jordan. I think Will does the same.
I agree. Even with my crazy upset playoff scenario, let's say even if it's Mitten T as the 4th seed and then Andrew is first, Andrew's easily going to win that. And then I do think that Will's going to beat Jordan. That would be an interesting finals.
Who do you think wins?
Who do I think will? But who do I think? And I think it'll be funny if it's not Will again. If he makes the finals and loses, I think he'll lose his mind. And it'll be Andrew's first. I'd like to see a new winner. Right? It'd be cool if Andrew or Jordan won.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Just because I like being one of the only teams with 2 championships.
Mm-hmm. For selfish reasons.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go finals. Andrew takes it all. That's who I want. Who do I think will?
Okay.
So, I think Andrew wins, but I think I want Jordan to win. Just because I think that's an upset, and I want to be the only American to have won before.
Yeah. I think
That's what I also said earlier too. Like,
Mhm.
that would be a good storyline too if Jordan, just with all the drama around his trades, not only wins first round, because Will said like that's the easier matchup, but he actually beats Will in the finals. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Will and Andrew, I think, is the most obvious one. I think Mike has a good opportunity to sneak in there. I would like to see. I'd like to see obviously somebody new get the trophy. It's kind of fun. Obviously, with that, I just don't know how annoying Andrew's going to be if he fucking wins.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to like manage expectations of like who's going to be the most annoying if they win.
I don't think Jordan will be annoying at all. I don't think Jordan would even care.
I think Jordan winning is the equivalent of Matin F winning, where we have like the same winner for 2 years in a row because that person didn't even notice that they won. Or Matin T when he won. Like when Matin T won the year after me, it was like another year of me being champion because MT never acknowledged it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like trying to debate in my head out of those 4 people. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I have a feeling like Andrew would be super annoying if he won.
Yeah, Andrew would for sure be annoying. He would tell the life story about how he inherited this bad team that he complained about for 6 years, and
he found James Conner on the streets.
Yeah, found James Conner on the street.
It would be a lot of like, fuck you, Mikes, fuck you, Jordan.
Yeah.
It would be a lot of that stuff.
Somehow the Dolphins get involved.
Yeah. Or is it that's Chris who has like 8 different teams that he cheers for.
Yeah. Well, Andrew sort of does too, but he does it quietly.
That's good. At least he's quiet.
Yeah, because every year,
I don't know.
halfway through the season, he dumps whatever Miami team he's cheering for and then picks up some random team.
Okay. Excellent. That's good to know.
I just like those early memes they had when like the Dolphins were 4-0 or whatever.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Like, what has 2 thumbs and throws a football? This guy.
This guy. What has 2 thumbs and has been replaced by Brock Osweiler? This guy.
My favorite thing is I think it was Chris thought that Ryan Tannehill was an MVP candidate.
What?
Yeah, he legitimately thought Ryan Tannehill was an MVP candidate. Like,
that's only possible if Will picks him up.
Yeah, Will's kind of going through what I went. Will's kind of going through what I went through last year with my team, where it was like my team was like shit. Well, Will's team was actually good, but like I would just pick up players and they'd have like these great games, and I'd be like, oh, sure, why not? Like,
at the same time, if you want anyone's career to be over, just hand them over to my team. I'll take care of that.
Yeah. I was like,
you can give me Todd Gurley. He'll probably all of a sudden rush like 30 times for like 30 yards, and you're like, what?
Yeah, if you want anyone to get injured, put him on my team.
Jeff Fisher will come back to. They'll fire Sean McVay for some reason. Jeff Fisher will come back and start coaching the Rams again.
Yep.
Oh fuck! Can't believe he. Yeah, I don't know. The one bold prediction that I did have to say on this podcast that I teased was that I don't think Tom Brady's going to play football next year.
You think he retires?
Tom Brady's not going to.
Yeah, I think he retires next year.
100% wrong.
Yeah, I think he retires next year. It's a bold prediction, but it's like my very like outside of the box.
What's your reason?
I watched him play football against Tennessee, and his arm looks like a fucking wet noodle. That's why his arm.
That was a bad game for the Pats.
No, but like all year, it doesn't look like it has like much left in it. Like it's starting to go down that road that like you saw Peyton Manning go down, where it was like, oh, he's just like the ball has like a lot of air under it on like crossing routes, and like the ball's not necessarily reaching the target on like deep routes. Like I'm not saying it like is a sheer cliff like what Peyton Manning fell off of, but like it's starting to go and you can see it.
I do agree he's regressed. I don't think it's to the point already that he needs to retire, so long as they're winning games. I think it's fine. Like,
but you want like that. You want that,
and it's not like they have the future right now. It's as if we had a guy like Garoppolo on the team, maybe like what they're not going to turn to Brian Hoyer next year.
Oh, they will. They'll turn to Brian Hoyer next year, big time.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady sticks it out as long as the team is still good, and the team is still good. So,
yeah,
you think so, eh?
Yeah,
well,
I think
they are like 7-3. So yeah,
I don't know. I what I saw last game and what I saw like in the highlight packages and like the clips that I watched of last game, because I was like looking at it and I was like, how'd they get beat? And I wanted to see like how they got beat 24-10, but I think his career is vastly coming apart.
I think the only play that I saw from that game was that Josh Gordon was this the week that he made that pass to Josh Gordon, like a 50-yard pass to Josh Gordon.
was it a touchdown?
No.
He usually gets a 50-yard pass to Josh Gordon, to be honest, like every week.
Okay. Well, I saw that because it was like he was covered by 3 receivers, so that's why it like made highlight reels.
Okay.
Like Josh Gordon, his last 4 games, 100 yards, 42 yards, 130, 81. Like he's getting a couple of big plays every game.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they bought him in, is to make big plays. He's their big play threat now, which is a good big play threat to have. He's like a better version of Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, but I think Gronk for sure retires after this year. But Tom Brady, I don't think so.
Really? You think
I
Gronk
don't
retires?
think Gronk will retire either. I think Gronk will literally carry it out until Brady.
No, I don't know, man. Gronk's body is. You see Gronk play,
But that's the thing. Like he's not going to retire, but he'll just like sit out the year again. I don't know. Maybe.
like you watch Gronk get up.
It really depends how long Brady lasts, but I don't know. I think Gronk can at least play one more year.
I don't even know if he has that.
I don't think he can. I think
Yeah.
he just retires. Like
Yeah.
he's always injured. Every year that there's like these retirement rumors, and like I think this is the year that he does it.
The truth is, the Pats are going to be really crappy for a long time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be really fun to watch. I can't wait.
Is
I'm
that-
so excited.
Defensive
I'm
horrible.
so excited
Without
that the Eagles are.
Brady, it's like gonna be just
I'm so excited that the Pats are gonna like. It literally gives me an erection that the Pats are gonna be bad.
I don't mind like a slightly up and down season. Like one season it doesn't work out because it's like just winning all the time. To be honest, like as like an like arrogant as it is, to
Winning
say
all the
this,
time
like,
is
winning
boring?
all
You
the
wanna
time
talk
kinda
about
gets boring.
You want to talk about Nick Foles winning all the time?
Oh yeah, that's what I
Right?
mean. So like that's why I wasn't that upset that we lost last year. But if we start
Okay.
like lose that, and that's why I was so excited when we beat the Seahawks. Like it had been so long.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
Yeah.
winning gets
As
boring.
but
As a
I don't want to
Falcons
go into
fan.
like a slump of like 20 years of just shit.
Oh, they're gonna be 20 years of shit. Trust me.
I'm not looking forward to that.
They're gonna be bad for a while without Tom Brady.
I don't think so, because what I've learned is that when you're a good team, you just and you lose your best player, eventually you just end up with LeBron James. That's the
So
way
what
it
you're
goes.
saying? So what you're saying is that LeBron James goes to New England next.
Yes, that is
It's
exactly
very
what I'm
possible.
saying.
Goes and plays tight end.
Yeah, they need it.
Goes and
Gronk
goes and
retires.
plays
In comes
quarterback.
LeBron. It's gonna happen.
What
That's
I've
my
also
bold
learned-
prediction.
Well, he's fucking shit on LA, so it doesn't really matter. I can't
What
wait.
I've also learned is the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets always suck. So there's always hope.
Oh my god, if Tom Brady leaves that division is going to be so fucking poo.
Oh my god. It's been like 20 years of mediocrity for each of those teams.
Yeah. That
And
division
one of
is
them
just,
guaranteed to make the playoffs.
wow. That division is poo. It is absolute poo. It is a wet poo. No, honestly, like that division is so bad if without Tom Brady on the Patriots.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over. And I think the thing that I think that makes the Patriots bad is I think Bill Belichick retires when Tom Brady retires.
I think so too.
Like I don't think they go like I don't know. I just think it's like fucked that that's gonna happen, and that's actually what's gonna fuck the Pats, not necessarily Bill Belichick leaving, but not necessarily Tom Brady
have a
leaving. But I
question.
think yes,
Question:
yes.
Is this podcast going to have the same intro song as before? Since now it's the Losers Corner.
Probably
No.
not. No.
No.
What's the intro song going to be then?
Do you want to record a song now?
Sam winner, Sam winner, Sam.
So what did you guys think of that intro?
It was okay.
Okay, I thought that was like the.
It was pretty lit.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was.
Is
awesome.
this going to be the segue to Fantasy God 4?
Well, that was supposed to be Fantasy God 4. So did I ever tell the story of what Fantasy God 4 was supposed to be?
Did you know that's a song by Jay-Z or?
What
Yeah,
song?
he always steals beats from other people.
Yeah, every song I've done is.
Yeah, but it's usually beats from like no names.
No, I did.
He literally took a beat from Drake and Eminem. Yeah, no name.
Yeah, I did Back to Back by Drake, and I did Rap God, and then I did a Migos song for my second one. Because I moved to
Yeah, the
Atlanta, so I had to do
Migos
Migos.
one was pretty no name.
Exactly. Yeah.
But okay, so the story of why I did that. Did I ever say it?
No.
Like what the concept for Fantasy God 4 was when I started and why I gave up?
Oh, what was the concept? Oh, was it a concept album? Was
Yeah,
it like
no, this was a concept song. Like this was not a diss song. This
Okay.
this was a concept song where I like went through. So you know how what's his name? Pusha T did Story of Adidon or whatever,
yeah.
and like he just it was kind of that was kind of what I was going for, where I was gonna do Story of OCal. I guess it's Story of OJ. So Story of OCal was instead of Story of OJ. And then I just went through the 10-year history of our league and just like did random shout outs like Monty Ball and like other like monumental moments like asterisks. Bishop Sink. I don't think that's a monumental moment. But like I just pointed out like certain things, and then that's why it starts off by listing off the winners of every year, because I was leading up to that, like explaining the 10-year history.
So I
Good.
guess now
good
it's not
concept.
going to happen because you just spoiled it.
Well, now it's
Yeah.
not going to happen because it would be done by like in the off season, and I would need to add someone else. And that hook worked out because Jay-Z lists 10 things, and then the last 2 things were
Alright, then
repeated.
release it quickly.
What?
You got to release it quickly.
Yeah, but I can't work on these short deadlines. I'm a writer.
To go through his creative process, guys. In other news, Montreal's currently losing to Edmonton in hockey.
I'm glad you said that because I had no idea.
All right, and that's the end of this episode.
Guys,